Yes, we will still wait for your friends to join the session. Anand, experiment 2 in the sense 15, the rest of the programs, right? 16 to. Yes, yes, yes. The same thing that you have done. Just take a screenshot and put it over there. That's it. Same thing, beta. Uh, okay. Regarding the file handling programs, you are asking, Anand. Just our screenshot of the data that is copied. That's it. Or whatever you have written, program and the output. That's it. It's like folder created. Okay, the MKDIR questions that you are telling, no, and those questions that I have given, those are the extra questions. Don't include them in your lab manual. Lab manual is the only questions, those 25 questions that you have to paste. Okay, beta, not this one. Got it? Unmute yourself and talk to me. No, why are you putting these things in the chat box? Unmute and talk to me. Anand. Yes, did you get what I was telling you? Okay, fine, no issues. Okay, let me present my screen. Why people are joining late today? Your last session got extended? Nobody is answering, meaning everybody is sleeping in the class.
सर समझा रहे थे एग्जाम के लिए इसलिए.
Okay. Okay. So in the last session, we have seen the programs of applet using the life cycle of the applet: init, start, stop, destroy, and paint. Right? We have seen that much. We have seen the life cycle or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. And what all methods you can call in your paint method? when you are using your paint, you can add graphics object over here and what all methods you can call for drawing a rectangle, oval, line, filling the colors that we have seen or not.
No, ma'am. You just complete the life cycle of applet. You don't
Okay,
see the paint method as well as graphic.
हाँ मैम लाइफ साइकिल कुछ बाकी था।
okay, fine. So in the life cycle, you also have this paint method. In the life cycle, we have seen that from start to stop, how can it go from start to stop? Again, when it goes back to start, whenever you are shifting between the tabs, it can go from start to stop. Whenever you are shifting your tab, it can go in the pause state, just like you have pause state of your thread. In the same way, it can go to stop for the pause state. And whenever you are pointing back to your applet, it resets it back to the start state. So your applet is again painted back by the paint function. The paint function will be called as soon as your applet is in running state or whenever you are going from stop to start again back again, you can this paint method is automatically invoked by your start itself. And these methods of drawing these objects using paint, that is what you have to draw, you have to do it on your own. See what you can do with draw arc. You can simply draw an arc. What all parameters does it take? It takes a starting point. Okay, let us take the starting point is 50, 50. This is self-explanatory. See, then what is the width of the arc that you want? I just want the arc of, again, I'm keeping 50 width and 50 height. Okay. Then what is the starting angle? If I want the arc to be the circle, then I can put the starting angle as 0 and ending angle as 360. And we can run it. So it is going to be a circle that we know. Like this. See, these methods you need to explore it on your own. And how can you explore this in a better way? I'll give you the example. Whenever you get time, draw this picture using your paint. Okay, I'm drawing the picture. Take a screenshot of it. Draw a big circle. Draw two eyes. Draw a curve like this using draw arc. Okay, try to draw this kind of picture with hair if you wish to do it. So again, okay, try to draw a happy smiling face, or probably you can even try to draw a house on your own. So it requires rectangle, right? So it requires a big fat rectangle. Then just create a rectangle by using draw rect. And if you wish to create a rectangle with a rounded corner, then you need to use draw rounded rectangle function. You also have round rect. See, these functions you need to explore it on your own. See, round rect is there, simple rect is there. Then how can I set the color? Simple, by using fill color. You can use fill oval, fill arc, fill rectangle, fill rounded rectangle. And if I want to create, I am just changing it. See, I am just changing it. I am setting the color. I am setting the color with red. Okay, fine. And I don't want to draw the simple arc, but I want to draw a fill arc. Then the same thing is there. Parameter is same, fill arc. The parameters of fill arc are same only. See, they are same only. But now your arc will have so and so color. It is going to be filled with red color. So if you want to create objects which are filled with color, set the color initially, set this color initially, and then use fill arc. Or if you want to draw simple arcs, then just use, draw arc. These are the differences between this shape creation or painting the shape that I am giving for you to explore. It is very easy. Just put on the parameters and see the output. If you want to draw a rectangle, just use draw rectangle. Okay, draw rect. And you can have x, y, width and height. We can put your x and y coordinates over here. Say for example 100, 100. And if you want a fat rectangle, I'll keep the width as 200 and I'll keep the height as 20. It is going to be a horizontal rectangle. Simple. See, like this, you can change. Again, when you set the color, just see the difference here. If I using draw rect, then it is drawing the rectangle with that color boundary, right? If I used fill rect, then it fills the color inside the rectangle with that color that you have set. And if you wish to set a different color, just set it before, you are using it. Whatever color you are setting here, these are static predefined values given to you already. like this. Got it? Isn't it simple? Hello? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, will you try to draw a simple smiley or happy face that will use all the shapes? Draw the nose with triangle or with 3 different lines. You can get the gist. You can, create one big circle and with 2 separate eyes. You can choose that of type oval or circle, whatever you want. Okay. And for the arc, if you want to create the arc like this, see, the full arc is giving 360. Then this will be 180. Then this will be negative 180. Simple. Just start your angle with 0 to negative 180, 0 to positive 180. That gives you full circle arc like this. 360 is giving you full circle like this. Draw the arc accordingly. Right? Use the 3 lines to draw the triangle in the between. Like this you can create. And you can use different colors over here. Or you can create a house. To explore different shapes, you can create a house also. Right? So this I wanted to explore it on your own. Use the paint function and use this different shapes and colors to, different parameters you can use to create that object. Okay, that is very easy, that you can do. Okay, apart from that, is anybody having any doubts, any questions in how to create what is an applet, how to create applet, how to run applets, what is the life cycle?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I'm sorry I got late.
Please.
Can you tell the action event and action listener that you imported?
That is what I am going to discuss today in the class.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. But this paint is simply used for painting whatever you wish to put on your applet in different colors. Now, what I am trying to explain you today, I am coming to that point only, Maheshwari. Today's session is all about that. Let us try to create a form or something wherein you have different controls and you want to manipulate those controls. Maybe you want to add a button. Maybe you want to add some text fields. Let us try to add different components and see how we can manipulate those components or how we can use those components in the program. Okay, so first thing, let us try to create a login form or something, or maybe we can, that example that I recently have given, it is easy. You can we can simply create an example for adding 2 numbers. That's it. We are simply creating 2 text fields where user is capable of inputting some number over here. And we are having one button add, which is simply used for adding. When you click on that button, no addition operation should happen. Only that much we are planning to do today. Okay. Now, if you want these controls, or if you want these components to be displayed onto your applet, then definitely you will require what things you will require. First, you will require label N1 for displaying that, okay, enter number 1, enter number 2, label number 2. A blank text field 1, blank text field number 2, for where you can user can input numbers, a button add, and maybe another text field or maybe another label, whatever you wish, to put your answer onto your applet, right? These 3 things we need. This 6 things we need. 6 components will require onto our applet. Now, whenever I say components, yes, they are actually components itself. And your applet is a container on which you can add these components and you can perform different operations. So all these individual component in the sense, label is one component, another label N2, another component, button add, another component. So both the text fields are another component. So all these components, I am using the word component because all these classes, actually they are all classes itself. And all these classes are the subclasses of superclass component, which resides inside your Java package. Which package does it reside inside? Inside your AWT package. Okay, I'm going to remove it. Okay, inside your AWT package that is residing. Now, okay, Maheshwari, you are telling because you saw the import statements over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Actually, that is the topic for today. Okay. I thought that no. That we are going to discuss today itself. Those were unused imports. If any unused import is there, no, it will be shown using a yellow colored underline over there. See, it is still unused because I haven't used any components here yet. Okay. But what all components does your AWT or Abstract Window Toolkit package is having? This package is having all these components. See, okay, first thing, whenever you see a symbol or icon like this, it is an interface. Okay, and whenever you see icon like this, blue, red, orange color, it is a class. First thing. Now you see a button is a class, right? Then checkbox is a class. Then we have a dialog box. Dialog is a class. Then file dialog is a class. Then another thing I want to show you. Label list is the drop down list that you will create. List is not that interface that you have seen in collection, but this list is residing under AWT is a class for creating menu items, for items in the sense drop down list. Okay, then you have where is it, a scroll bar also is there. Yes, scroll bar is there. Then we also have text field, we have text area. We also had a label. Let me search it again. Do we have label there or not? E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Yes, we also have label. So all these classes are pre-declared or they are already present in your AWT package. So now we can see that AWT is the package that is giving us components. Components in the sense these items that you want to put on your page. No, these items that your page might consist of. All these things are given by your AWT package, that we know. In the sense, now whenever I want to add the button to my page, I will require that import for sure. Otherwise, the button is not recognizable over here. Now, before I begin to the actual adding and setting the button and everything, I want to recollect one more concept. This you already have done initially. If you have some class and you are having, say for example, one variable, then it is the constructor's duty to initialize this variable, or it is the parameterized constructor's duty to initialize this variable. Am I right or not? You tell me in this sense. This we have done before, right? I can even give here value 100. The problem with 100 was every object that you create for class circle will have the value 100. Am I correct or not? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this was the problem. That is the reason we use a constructor to initialize the variables of the class. So here we usually put simple variable name. Even you have seen in your producer consumer that you are simply putting here resource, and your resource was getting the value from your constructor of that class, be it producer, be it consumer. You are initializing the resource from your, this.r equals to r, or whatever variable you are using. You are initializing this from your classes object, right? That is the thing I want to recapitulate over here, is because your constructor is used to initialize the members of the class. Keeping that in mind, we don't have constructors over here. We don't have wordmin over here. We cannot create or we cannot instantiate our test class because public static wordmin doesn't exist here. Even if we instantiate, where did we go for calling? Your browser is going to call it, and the first function the browser is calling is always your init function in the life cycle of the applet, right? Init is always called first in the life cycle. So just like we were calling the constructors first, whenever you create the object, you are calling the constructor always first. In the same way, whenever you are running your applet, your init function is getting called first, in the sense, now whenever I want to initialize something, I will do that initialization over here inside a init function only. Are you getting why? What is the actual use of init function? To initialize whatever components that you wish to use in your applet. To initialize those components, we are going to use the init function, and it is called as soon as your applet is loaded into your browser's memory, or as soon as it starts running, the first stage it is called as init. And one more thing, if I forgotten to discuss it on the last lecture, init and destroy both are called only once during the life cycle. Why? Initialization has to be done only once. And whenever you close the window of the applet, you call the destroy module, destroy life cycle, destroy module of the life cycle of the applet. It is again called only once. But start, stop, and paint, they are called infinitely till your applet is running. Whenever you shift the window, it is stopped. Whenever you again go back to the applet's window, it is calling start and paint again. These three functions are called infinitely until you are destroying your applet, but init and destroy are called only once throughout the life cycle of the applet.
Ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, paint method is a part of a life cycle?
Yes, sir. Yes. Start will automatically call paint. Whenever you are starting your applet, whenever your applet is in start mode, this example we have seen in the last class. You were there or not in the last session?
Yes, ma'am, I was there.
Oh, yes. Then we have seen, no, bacha. You remember? We have seen, putting this in your, where? In your console. I printed SOP statements here. Do you remember that example? Check the video again. Bachani,
Okay.
you are wasting my time.
Okay.
My time is very precious these days because it is the last week.
Okay.
So let me show it to you. Now you have, okay. Okay, so this is start, stop. Okay, now whenever you call your, whenever your applet is starting, it is calling init for the first time, then start is called automatically, see paint is called. Getting it?
Yes.
When you minimize, stop is called. Whenever your start is called, paint is called. See, got it?
Yes, ma'am. But I'll read from a W3 score online. At that time, he is not showing a paint method is a part of life cycle. It's
They
just
will not show as a, yes, they will not show as a part of the life cycle, but paint is automatically called by start. Just like your run is automatically called by start in threads. They are not including because it is automatically invoked by start. So start, stop, like that they are telling, but paint is again called whenever your start is getting called. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Function wise. Getting it? Implementation wise.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now, coming back to my point, what point I was discussing? Okay, yes, creating the components. So, init can be used for initializing the components. Now, what all components do we need in our example? Okay, in our example, I need 2 labels, I need 2 text fields, I need 1 button, and this you could assume as a text field or a label, whatever you wish. Again, it is your choice. I am creating, see, a label is a class actually. So in order to access, I am creating as number 1 label, or I am simply labeling with short names for now. We can label it as L1 simple. And as we require 2 labels, I am creating 2 labels here. Text field, is it a class? Yes, you have a text area, you have text component, we also have text field. One thing to observe here is that, how shall I put it? Okay, yes, I can show you here itself. Text component is the subclass of component. Actually, all the classes are subclass of component. See, extends component. Even if you use here button, your button also extends component. Component is a super class of all the components that you are going to use and that are visible in your applet. Be it a file uploading button, be it a text area, be it a checkbox, be it a list, be it a radio button, anything that you will see with which you can interact. All these are known as components, and these components are a subclass. Why I am telling you all the time it is a component because they are the subclasses of superclass component, and these components are added on to your container applet. Container can contain all the components. That is one thing that you have to keep it very clear in your mind. Applet is a container on which you can place different components, and these components are the subclasses of the major class component. Your text field is again the subclass of text component, and your text component was again the subclass of your component. So in turn, Text field is the subclass of component class in turn. Okay. Now I can create, okay, let us create two text fields, TF1 and TF2. So I have created, button is left. Okay, let us create button B1. So these are the components that we require over here. One more is left. You can decide what do you want this to be. Tell me, label or a text field. For answer, where do you want to put the answer? Tell me. Onto a label or onto a text field?
Text field.
Text
Label,
field.
label.
This side, oh, come on. Okay, let us keep it label. Fine. So you want the answer to be displayed onto a label. Good. You have created the variables. Have you initialized them? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yeah, no.
We have initialized them or not? Initialization is not yet done, right? I am simply creating the references. How do we create the object? Whenever I want to create the object of class circle, we use a new circle. Where is it? Have you called the constructor yet? No, we have not done them. So object creation is not yet completely done. But why am I declaring all these variables above, before all your start and every other function? Why am I doing this? Can you give me a reason for that? Why am I keeping all the variables above all the functions? Why? If I create or if I declare these variables inside this function, then what will happen? Tell me.
We cannot use for multiple times. When we are entering the data, just button is just initialized. We cannot insert some performance. We cannot perform the action,
Yes.
method.
Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. Actually, if you are declaring the variables globally, it means they are accessible throughout the complete scope of the class. Yeah, see, accessible where? Throughout the complete scope of the class. If I create these variables inside this init function, then as soon as init is done executing, all the components are destroyed because they are not accessible outside init. Are you getting the reason why we want to keep it above init? Yes or no? Hello. Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now we have created the reference. We haven't made them objects yet. Let us start with all the labels first. I want to initialize my label. So if I keep it empty, it is going to be an empty label with no text on it. If I want to give this label some text as an informative text as enter number 1, or just say for example just number 1, if I want to add this text number 1 on the label, then I can use this constructor of type string to keep that label text on this label. And similarly, in the same way, you have created label 1, you can also create label 2, you can also create the answer label. This is your label number 2, L2 and L3. You have created all the 3 labels, meaning these 3 labels should be there on your applet, right? You have created them. No, now it is whenever init is getting called, no, automatically these statements are going to get executed and this component should be present on your applet. We can understand it so far. So far, are things getting clear in your mind what we are doing here?
Yes.
Yes. Now if we run, these components should be there on the applet. But look, they are not present on the applet. See, there is nothing on this applet. Why? Because we have created these components. Have we added these components onto the applet yet? No, we haven't added them onto the applet. We have created all the components, but we have not added them onto our container. To add the components onto the container, which is our applet, we can use add function. What you can add? I want to add label L1. What other things you want to add? I want to add label L2 and I want to add label L3. Your add function can work with adding only one component at a time. If I don't put L3 over here, then only L1 and L2, label 1 and label 2 are added on to the applet. Label 3 answer cannot be seen anywhere, right? So we need answer label again. So again it is created, but have you added it? No. Okay, so unless and until you don't add the components, they will not be added on to your applet. One more thing to notice here is that I can call add without creating object of anything over here. How come it is like that? Because you have extended applet, you are calling the super function of this class applet. Add actually is a function of class applet, and applet properties are visible over here in this body because it is extended over here. So you can call it even without accessing or writing the object of superclass. Because you are accessing this in subclass, you don't require to create the object of superclass. Because of the inheritance property, I can easily write add function over here. Is so far things clear in your mind what we are doing here? Yes. Oh yes, Sanskar, please can you tell me what point? I actually saw your message now only. What point do you want me to repeat? Please tell me again.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that we have to declare label above nx function.
Okay. For that, I'll give you a normal class example. If you have this class test and imagine your void input function is meant for inputting radius from user. Now, can you tell me if I am declaring radius over here, can I use it in calculate area? No, right?
No, ma'am.
Yes, because it is declared over here, so its depth and worth is in this scope only. If I declare this over here, then it is in the global scope. Now, whenever user is calling input, automatically this variable is getting the value and you can access it over here. In the same way, your init function is only used for initializing them or giving or creating the objects of these classes. But all the manipulation and all the other functions that you're going to use henceforth, they will not be able to access these components if you don't keep it above them. Above them in the sense, in the class's body. See, radius is belonging to the class's body. It is not a personal variable of any of the function. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Now coming back here, we have created these components and we are adding it. Okay. Oh, we have a lot more components to create yet. We are not done. We have to still create our text field 1. Where is the name? Okay. TF1 is the new text field. Okay. I am creating the new text field, a blank text field. If you put the content over here, if you put some content over here, say for example, I am putting here 12, then automatically the text field will have the default value 12. Where is this used? Where is this default value is used? Where informatory message is required. Enter username. You must have seen in different websites. Okay, your text field is automatically having some name inside it, and when you click on the text field, that name vanishes and it gives you space to put your name inside that. So if you want your fields to have some predefined value, you can put values like that, it is okay. But currently, we are simply adding to numbers, so I'm not putting any default value in my text field. Whatever user is going to enter, that will be considered as my input. So I'm keeping them blank. Again, we have a button to create, okay. So for again button, it is, we are creating the object of class button. And if I create a button like this, no text is displayed on the button. If I want the button to have some text, I can just keep the label just like we have done now. You can use the parameterized constructor over here to put that label onto that button. And then now it is the time to add these components. I am adding TF1, I am adding TF2, and I am adding my button B1. So we have added these things. Now if we run, the components should be displayed, but see the fashion in which they are displayed. According to the sequence of adding, they are displayed in that fashion. First L1, L2, L3, then text field 1, text field 2, and the button add. You don't want this to be in this sequence, first thing. Second problem that I can see is they are getting added into a single line. They are not getting added into new lines, right? If I want a form like this, where I can get the text field and this in one level, in second line I want something like this, in third line I want the add button, then that arrangement is not getting done over here. If I reduce the size, then they are getting added to different lines. It is like the way I write stuff in my notebook. When one line is getting finished, I am wrapping up the text and writing the content on the next line. When another line is finished, I am writing the content on the third line. It is like writing the stuff in the notebook. When your line is done accommodating the components, then it shifts the component to the next line. Then accommodating the component, shift to the next line. That is the arrangement. But I don't want it like this. I want to change the layout. Are you identifying the problem first? What is the problem with the layout? Are you getting the problem here first?
Position.
Yes, that is correct. But the problem, are you understanding what is the problem with the default layout that they've given us? Yes? Yes. Okay. Now a solution for that. Before we go on to the solution, the default layout that any applet will have is the flow layout. There are so many layout classes available for us. We are going to see it not today, later on, but I'm just giving you a glimpse of what all layout this, your applet can take. There are so many different layouts here, and all these layouts are actually classes. Everything here is in terms of classes only. You can inherit the property, you can use the classes object, and you can apply that particular layout. We are going to see it later on, but I'm just giving you the information regarding the first flow layout because it is used over here. Whenever you are running the file, the default layout is always flow layout for any of the applet or swing or JApplet or any of the future applet classes that you are going to create. And what do you mean by flow layout? If I want to show you what do you mean by flow layout, it is written over here. A flow layout arranges the components in a directional flow, much like the lines of text in a paragraph. In the sense, whenever you are done writing the paragraph or line, shift your component to the next line. I told you, no. Just like I'm writing the contents on pen and paper, in the same way, the components are getting floated onto your applet. But that is the default layout, and I don't want to use it. I don't want to use any layout. I want to set my layout as null, empty. Let's do that. I want to set my layout as null. So I am setting my layout as null. So henceforth, none of the layout of any of these category is currently set onto my applet. Whenever I use the function set layout, it is used. You are going to use this function for setting grid layout, for setting box layout, for setting card layout. You are going to use it for setting different layouts. But I don't like the flow layout for now. I want to get rid of that. So I am using the function set layout for setting the layout. Currently I am setting it to null. So the components shouldn't be added in the manner that is default. Then the question is, then if the applet is not supposed to set the layout, then how will it add the components? See, the components are not being added over here. It doesn't know which layout to use or in what manner it has to arrange the components. As it doesn't know how to arrange, it has not arranged any component over here. Are you getting things so far in your mind? Are they clear? Yes. Is the layout part clear in your mind or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Then if I am setting the layout to null, it means now I have to give the layout of each of these components. That is increased and add on to my task. I have increased the task here. I have to set the positions of these components. How can I set the positions? If I am not setting the layout, in the sense it cannot arrange them by default, then how can I set the position of the components? Can I set them? Let us check. Do we have any functions that can set the position of these components with us? Let us check. If I click on L1 dot, do you have set position? No, we don't have position. We have preferred size. Okay, fine. Do you have set bounds? Yes. Set bounds moves and resizes the component. It moves the component at X and Y location and resizes the component with so and so width and height. Again, this function is the function of component. It means any of the component that you are going to use in your applet can be set bounds with, or can be resized or moved according to this constructor. So according to this function's parameter. Now, if I call the set bounds, okay, first I have to give X location. Let us see the applet once. Okay, this is my applet. If I want my L1, that is number 1, to start from with so and so distance from the left hand side, then in the applet also I need to apply the distance on this side on X and Y both. Okay, somewhere here I want to start my first label. All right, then let us try to set the first position of, or the X coordinate of my first label number 1 as 30 from the left hand side. From the top also you can take it 30, or you can even take it 50, whatever you wish to. And now we can give the width and height of this label. I can specify the width as 100 maybe, and you can specify the height whatever you wish. Again, I am simply setting it as 20. Now if we run, it should be set properly at this position. Yes, we got the first label at your position where you wish to. 30 from this side, 50 from this side. The width is 100 and the height of this label is 20. In the same manner, I want to keep another label exactly below it. If I want to keep another label below it, I can simply increase the Y coordinate. The X width and height can remain same. So I am copying the statement again and I am putting it here again. All right. For L2, I am setting the bound for my next label. I want to simply increase the Y coordinate. I am simply making it 100. Let us check. It is trial and error. If it is not working, we can again revisit it. I am running it. Yes, we got it exactly below number 1. We have 100th location, 100 pixels starting for number 2. Now, if I want the text field for the first number that user is entering along this side, so I don't need to change Y. I don't need to change width and height. I simply need to increase the X coordinate. If I want something over here, I am increasing the X axis. Y is same, width and height can remain same. So I am changing the X location with respect to number 1. Where is number 1 label at this location? Okay, I am using it again for setting the position of my text field 1 for entering the first number. I simply have to increase my X coordinate. I am increasing it to maybe 100. Yeah, let us check 100 first. Then if it is not working, we'll check it with 150 or something. Let us check it. It is displayed over here. I think it is correct for me. If you wish to increase the distance, you can definitely make it 150. Then the increased distance you can see like this. See, you can definitely change the distance according to your need. So I think 150 is looking good over here. I think when it was 100, it was overlapping the previous one, because already number 1 is having 100 as width, right? So maybe it was overlapping. If I keep this as 150, it is working fine. Okay, that is good for me. Now, similarly, I want TF2 exactly below this. So I can increase the y coordinate, but I need to keep x width and height as same. So I am copying this TF1 and I am pasting it over here. I changing it to TF2. I am simply increasing the y coordinate by 50 pixels first. Let us make it 100 and check. If it is not working, we can reset it again back. And yeah, yes, we have got exactly aligned. It is properly aligned. Now you see, even if you increase the applet's width and height, and even if you decrease, it is not going to change its orientation because you have positioned it as fixed. You have set the bound as fixed. So it will not change its position at all. It is according to the position that you have set in these brackets. Again, let us try to set the label 3 and buttons position. For button, maybe we can keep it exactly below our labels, or you can even keep it below your text fields. Again, it is your choice. Or you can keep it somewhere in between both of them. 30 and 150, you can keep it somewhere 100 if you want on the x-axis. That position is again your choice. How do you want to position it? Let us try to position your button B1. Your button B1. You can keep width and height as same. Let us try to reduce the x. I can keep, see, this is at 100 position. Its height is actually, y is 100 and you are keeping height as 20. So automatically this will end at 120. This TF2 will end at 120. So you can begin this at 150, leaving 30 pixels in between. Whatever width and height you wish, you can keep for the button. Yeah, I think we have got the button here. And for the label, you can keep it anywhere. We can keep it exactly below our button also if you want. The label which is printing the answer, that is L3, you can keep it exactly below at 180 or somewhere. Is it having some answer label? Yes, it is having some answer label. Let us check. Yes, we have got the label perfectly aligned. Yes. Is so far anybody having any questions? How I am setting the bounds? What are the coordinates of bounds? Yes.
No, ma'am.
What about others?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Clear, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. Then I want to start the heavy part. Only if you have the energy, we can do that. Otherwise, I am okay to do it in the next section also. Clicking the button, retrieving the records, and adding the records. That is left, right? We have simply designed the applet. The adding and that is left. So, do you have the energy for today, or we can shift it to the next lecture if you want? What do you want to do? You can tell me. We can finish it today. Yes. Do you have the energy for that? Or we can shift it in the next session. Whatever you feel okay, that we can do. Somebody is typing. Okay. Okay, fine. Then I am okay. But whenever you are free at home, please practice your graphics class that I have shown you and this layout that I have arranged. Try to create your own login form with username, password, login button, or maybe registration form. Then once you know how to get the input and how to validate them, then you can implement that in your applet also. But at least try to create the layout like this, or if not, you can simply use the flow layout default one without setting the layout anything. You can simply add the components and create something. Try to create your text field, buttons, labels. If possible, try to create the check boxes. It is very simple. Create the object of checkbox class. That's it. It is very easy. But at least try to work on it whenever you get time at home. The more you try to experiment, the more you will get. Okay. Okay, I'll take the attendance and then you all can leave. We'll keep adding the numbers in the next session. Yeah. Yes. Dhruvik, Zubair, Ayushi,
Yes, ma'am. I'm there.
Anurag, Tripathi, Chayani,
Yes, ma'am.
Mahfuz, Mandani,
Yes, ma'am.
Mittal,
Yes, ma'am.
Yash,
Yes, ma'am.
Margi,
Yes, ma'am.
Apalya,
Present, ma'am.
Rameta,
Yes, ma'am.
Advani, Krushi, Rahul,
Present, ma'am.
Dhanraj,
Yes, ma'am.
Himani.
Rahul, present, ma'am.
Yes. Himani, Janish,
Yes, ma'am.
Hirani, Umang,
Present, ma'am.
Vatan,
Yes, ma'am.
Sakshi,
Yes, ma'am.
Shan,
Present, ma'am.
Mihir,
Present, ma'am.
Maheshwari is there. Savan, Nasib,
Yes, ma'am.
Pronal,
Present, ma'am.
Mukund,
Yes, ma'am.
Madhvi, Jagani, Shruti,
Present, ma'am.
Rashti,
Present, ma'am.
Harsh,
Yes, ma'am.
Siddhi,
Present, ma'am.
Tejas, Darshan, Sandeep, Prabhuwani,
Present, ma'am.
Makwana, Sangani,
Yes, ma'am.
Piparia,
Yes, ma'am.
Michelle is there. Clinic, Prachi,
Present.
Harapara, Umesh,
Present.
Hazel, Anil,
Present.
Nikhil, Anand is there. Eva, Ravi, Dhara, Mirali, Anjali, Dhruvin,
Yes, ma'am.
Vishwa, Heath,
Present, ma'am.
yes, yes. Reply is there. Nivya,
Ma'am.
Rabadia, Devang, Sakshi, Udaraj,
Yes, ma'am.
Achani is there. Forum,
Present, ma'am.
Makwana, Keval,
Present, ma'am.
Rudri, Sahil, Palak, Sagar is there. Penil, Umang is there. Yes, you all can leave the session. Tripathi is there. Jeet, yes, I have marked your presence. Yes, yes. Yes, you all can leave the session.